Hello, and welcome to the Schooner Pod. I'm your host, Bobby Howard, and for the first time, we're on video. Look at this. This is wonderful. Shout out Weston Shepherd. Incredible stuff. Anyways, we are here to cover what has been, frankly, a lot of stuff that we probably should have been covering anyways, but hey, honestly, I don't think any of us expected to be here. But we're having a football season. OU football kicks off in 10 days. So I guess it's time to start talking about football. So with me as always, we got Jameson Maxwell. We got Ty Lee.
How's it going, everyone?
Squad's up. So if you're joining us for the first time on video, welcome. This is the first time we've done this. We're going to try to keep doing it. If you are very confused and just listening on podcasts like you always have, hey, check us out on video. It's good stuff. So it's a little different. You just have to bear with watching our ugly faces talk about this stuff. But
I'm just laughing at the thought because usually every single intro takes about 5 attempts because we laugh about how bad it is. And now that we're live, it is just completely thrown out. Like it cut to us right after the screen and me and Ty are like already in laughter, just waiting.
just waiting for me to pause and go, shit. Because it usually happens. But, I've been tempered by my time with Boomtown Hoops, gotten stronger. So follow Boomtown Hoops. Hopefully we're still going by the time you listen to this. But anyways, we have a lot to talk about. A lot has happened in college football over the past couple, past month. But let's start with the most important thing. So, Golden Chick. I can't even say it with a straight face. Golden Chick has Fletcher's corny dogs now everywhere. That's the most important thing. That's it. This entire podcast is about corny dogs.
Seriously, everyone's going to go straight to their phone once they hear this. And if you didn't hear it today, go and find your closest Golden Chick, which is going to be hard to figure out. Thankfully, I actually have one really close to me over on 23rd Street. I think like close to Penn. There's one there. I don't know how many people frequent it, but $5 for a corn dog might be a little steep, but I'm buying 4.
It's quite a ways.
When the news hit the podcast group text, the first response was Ty saying, "What the hell is a Golden Chick?"
I didn't even know we had them in Oklahoma City. It looks like the closest one to me is on Penn.
It's the same one.
I don't know if I want to get in like a gunfight to get my chicken, but
it's okay. Anyways, let's talk about the real news. The most hotly contested quarterback debate of the summer is over. Spencer Rattler named quarterback at Oklahoma. Ty, did you listen to any of the Texas fans saying that he wasn't going to make it, or are you like the rest of us and not surprised at all?
Well, I mean, it's just crazy to me that we've had such a hotly contested quarterback battle, 5 years in a row now here at OU over the summer. It's been crazy not knowing at all who the starting quarterback is going to be. So it's exciting for the 4th or 5th year in a row to have that settled for us, which is interesting.
This is the least exhilarating out of all of them. It came down to the end, but I mean, Mordecai hasn't played. They said he hasn't even played 75% of this offseason. And we knew as soon as Spencer Rattler came in the bowl game last year that he had it locked up. He had already won it. And I mean, why wouldn't he? I mean, just the OU brand, nationwide, what we need to put forth is hype. We need to continue the hype train. And even though Mordecai might be successful and he might be good in our system, he is not going to continue to further push our brand of hyped up quarterbacks that used to be on QB1 Beyond the Lights. And people that want to tune in and watch Oklahoma football as a big national brand up to the Ohio States, Clemsons, and Alabamas.
I mean, that's a good point. In terms of a brand, everyone knows Spencer Rattler. No one really cares about Mordecai. No offense to the guy. He seems like a fine quarterback, solid system guy. But, I mean, from the get-go, it was going to be Rattler. He's the type of guy that OU really, I believe he's the highest rated quarterback we've had since, I know it's going to sound bad, Rhett Bomar. But this is the first. Yeah, well,
That's not that promising sounding.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
For the
How
most
many Heismans do we have in between that guy and now?
Basically everyone since Jason White. So 3. Wow, that's a lot. That's more than Texas. I gotta say,
Texas has the most social media engagements of anyone. I don't. Jameson, did you see that one today?
No, I actually did not see that. What
I sent it to Bobby and one of our friends from Texas. Texas, because so you remember last year they had their highest GPA in school history or whatever with like their 2.1.
It was like their 2.7.
Yeah, so this year, right around the same time, they came out with this graphic on the Texas football account where they have 1.1 million plus Instagram interactions, most in college football.
Oh my God. Oh God.
First off, like I don't even understand so interactions are counted with like likes, shares, and comments. So like you got to assume that half of these are just making Texas's back jokes. It's just I don't understand the thought process that goes through their head, but at least they're not making rings that deny losses on them.
That's true. That our other rival very much does that all the time, and it's horrible. So they're the worst.
How many of these interactions are Schooners getting into like Brian Carrington's like Instagram comments? Seriously, because Schooners attack. I'm telling you, like them on social media. Okay, for people who haven't heard the term Schooner is Schooner 75 on, or like in Brian Bosworth is their profile picture on Twitter. Some guy hiding behind, or like Spencer has been his profile picture for the past 2 years. That kind of guy who tweets at recruits. Like these people, I don't know where they come from. I have zero idea, but they go full force on some of these Texas Barstool. Oh man. It's every single time.
Texas Barstool got absolutely roasted today for a Forrest Gump meme they posted. I guess they were trying to make fun of the fact we don't have a transfer quarterback for the first time in a couple of years, and they posted the picture of Forrest Gump breaking free of his leg braces, and we're like, OU football now that they don't have a transfer. Isn't that a good thing?
Yeah. Now he turns into like one of the best runners.
You don't
understand how memes work? Yeah, he got better when the thing. So we've had Heisman's that made it to the playoffs, so they're saying we're going to get better now, and that's a joke on us.
Texas will never make any sense. It always cracks me up. But
oh my goodness.
Well,
I'm like thinking so hard about the angle. What were they even going for? Like,
what?
I can't even think of anything like how that would be negative. Like Forrest Gump was a legend. Like, what are you trying to say? That was like his turning point.
No, he was good at football too.
If they're saying that OU with, so I'm assume it's referencing just the Riley era. So if they're saying that OU with 2 Heismans and 3 playoff appearances is leg brace Forrest Gump, and then year 2 future is like non-leg brace Forrest Gump, it's going to be ridiculous what we're going to do then. Because that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
No.
That's arguably worse than when the Schooner Pod Instagram posted a meme about Kansas State, and then we lost, and then just never posted anything again.
Look. It is a tradition for both the Instagram and the actual blog itself to just vanish out of nowhere, just give up because like the bare minimum we'll do is just hang out, talk shit for about an hour, have a good time. Anything like writing. All that.
We have posted again.
Yeah, I think I posted a Baylor recap. But anyways, let's move on.
Yeah.
I love the just rambling talk, but let's talk a little football here. Yeah. So let's talk. Okay, so really, my big question right now, and it seems like there's a lot of names stepping up. The state of the running back room for me is really interesting. mainly because of, no Ramondre Stevenson, obviously a blow due to his suspension from last December. I swear to God, I didn't mean that. So, I really walked into that one. And then you got Trey Sermon transferring to a school that doesn't play football anymore. And
I didn't even think about that. That's really funny, actually.
Also a real bummer there for
he
Trey.
Transferred to play, and
then Ohio State pulled the rug out. And then Kennedy Brooks, sitting out due to COVID reasons. It seems like the running back room is thin. I'm a little worried. I've heard a lot of good things about a couple guys, but Jameson, I want to hear if you have any concerns. What are your thoughts going into the season about the running back room? What have you heard?
Well, Lincoln said that TJ Pledger has been looking good, but I'm not going to take anything from that, because coaches are always going to say their players are looking good if you ask them about them. They're never going to say, oh, he's looking bad. TJ Pledger was a great guy coming out of high school. I had high hopes for him. He just seems like he never could break into good snaps. And now that he's got a new running back coach in DeMarco Murray, things could completely break open for him. We know he has the talent, and he hasn't gotten the opportunity, and let's see it. But moving forward with TJ Pledger, we don't have anything really to fall back on in his history. So is he going to live up to his hype, or was it just the coaches in the past actually for real and they actually knew something that this guy wasn't as good as we thought he was?
Yeah, I mean, because again, we haven't really seen anything on tape, of him. We've seen a couple, reps, in game, but in general, we're dealing with, other than Ramondre, who could come in halfway through the season, a relative unknown. I will say I really like DeMarco Murray as a running backs coach. I know that's really early. He's only had 1 year as a coach over at Arizona, but I don't know. I really have been disappointed by our development of running backs. I feel like we have a lot of just kind of middle ground type of guys, and I'm really interested to see change and what happens there in terms of the coaching aspect of things. But really, this is it for Pledger. Guys got to step up, or else. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe a change of campus is good for him. If this doesn't work out, this is his shot. He has no more excuses. You don't have any big name running backs ahead of you. Like this is his time. It's time for Pledger to step up. And I know there are a couple other guys in there who really can take off. But Ty, what are your thoughts on the running?
Yeah,
back
so this actually kind of worked. This all tied in really well because who I was going to talk about, you guys didn't touch on. So just to loop back into something that both of you guys said, I think that DeMarco Murray is going to have a bigger sort of outsized impact. I think that the coaching and having a young guy and fresh ideas and fresh playing experience is really, really big when it comes to positional coaches. Because I really think that he's going to bring a lot and that the players are really going to have a connection with him. So I think I think he's going to have a pretty significant impact. So that's a pretty crucial thing. Also, I would like to see us check if he has eligibility left. Because that would be nice. But yeah, who I was going to talk about was Marcus Major, who was a 4-star coming out of high school, had some injuries last year, but I have heard really good things about him, and you see some promising things online, and he really is kind of unknown because we had a lot of flashier names last year when he was on campus as a freshman and a redshirt freshman, I guess, because of his injuries. But I think he's really going to have a chance to show up and to shine and to develop alongside this offense. And this will be really his first year playing. And I think that's significant. I also just wanted to say, Bobby, in reference to your sort of middle of the ground running back comment, I don't necessarily disagree, but I think that you have to look at it when you have Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. It's really, really difficult to show out as a running back. I think you could put any running back at any time in the history of college football in the backfield with either of those three guys, and they're not going to shine like they did when they were the one-man show. So I think that is something to factor in. Obviously, all those guys are now gone, so you can't necessarily argue it too much. But I'm not super doom and gloom as much as some people are about the running backs. Partially because I know it matters, but it doesn't matter a whole lot. But I think that we're underrated when it comes to running backs.
And I think that's a fair point, mainly because in Lincoln's early years, he made Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon, who were two of OU's really. That was probably the best two running backs OU's had in the backfield at the same time since the 70s. And
yeah, definitely the best duo.
And they were bit players,
They complemented each other really, really well.
Oh, incredibly well, because you had that just raw power of Perine mixed with. I wouldn't even say. I'm not going to say pure speed of Mixon because the guy was large. He was a big dude.
But who else was in the backfield with him?
Exactly, Baker Mayfield, and you had Hollywood. So
you have to
stop for 1 year
because I think that
not Hollywood. Sorry,
I think that either one of them would have been significantly more recognized in college alone, and then you throw him in the backfield with Baker Mayfield, and you have a three-way. Because he ran a lot. You have really a three-way share of that running, and they all filled different roles, and complemented each other really well. But it was,
So you're right. Maybe I honestly probably am being a little harsh there because they just wasn't a super balanced offense, and I think we would have seen a lot more out of Sermon and Brooks if there was a little bit more of a run balance. But again, there was a need for it. Exactly. There's no need for it because our offense is already incredible. So, anyways.
Yeah, and one thing we can't get over with this, just saying the basic question, are we worried about the running back room? I am not, because the most important position in all of college football as a whole is the offensive line, and we've got 4 or 5 returning. And if you listen to Bill Bedenbaugh's presser last week or not too long ago, he sounded really happy, and it takes a lot to make him happy about at this point in the season, at this point, 2 weeks before the season, to be happy about your offensive line. You never see that from him. And we have got some quality guys on that line, and it's going to end up where there are going to be holes. And even if you have a middle of the ground running back there, they're going to hit the spot and get, those 6-yard bulk carries. Seth McGowan is another guy we haven't brought up, and him and Marcus Major are going to be kind of tied at that second spot. McGowan, he is an extremely hard worker. He doesn't care. He'll run you over. And Major is just an extremely talented, quick, hits the hole and makes big plays. It's whoever is going to make more splash is going to get that second spot. And if Pledger doesn't do anything, they could take over the first spot. Lincoln Riley took it from Bob Stoops. He'll ride the hot hand with the running back. He doesn't care who it is. And these offensive linemen are going to create some holes. And honestly, even though we don't have a returner at left tackle, the inside is going to be wide open with Marquise Hayes, and maybe Bray Walker starts at the other guard. Maybe Tyrese Robinson starts the other guard. Does not matter. We have a stacked house on the offensive linemen with plenty of room, and going to be a really, really fun year with how much time we give our first-year starter in Spencer Rattler and first-year starters at running back as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think you guys can keep going on, but I think my closing statement on the running back room is people are concerned that we don't have a star. We don't need a star. We need someone that fits. And this goes to any position. You could say this even about our center, our quarterback, or anything. You just need people that mesh with the people around them in a way that we can make work and create production. We don't need, a big one-off name and a star, as much as we have, because we do have tremendous world-class talent stars on our team. And, not to say they're not appreciated, but what matters is the team.
Certainly. Now, we've definitely done our fair share of talking about the running backs right now. Let's kind of talk about, just in general, the standouts of fall camp. Obviously a weird situation for OU as they had to stop in the middle, but I've seen a couple names who aren't being talked about a ton, And for me, I'm really excited. And I know we talk about him a lot, mainly because he's another Mimsy. He's our Mimsy, in fact. I'm all about Marvin. I'm taking all my chips, putting them right in the Marvin Mims bin. I know we're worried about the receiver position, but I like what I've heard, what I've seen. Again, you never know until you actually get on the field and see it. But everything I've heard, he seems like that, like the stereotypical under the radar receiver who can really come in and make an impact for OU. And that's the guy I'm looking forward to most out of the things I've heard about in fall camp. So, Jameson, who is your fall camp standout for yourself?
Yeah, Marvin Mims is going to be really fun to watch. I kind of see him having similar to that of Sterling Shepard's freshman year, where he came in, made a couple of splash plays, did really well. I mean, he's really stood out, and you have a lot of room in that wide receiver ever since Jaden Hazelwood went down. You got Charleston Rambo, Theo Weiss, Theo Howard, and then you got Mims waiting right there after that. I mean, that's a blessing to be the number 4, even at this point as a true freshman. This is going to be tricky going into this year of who's going to be our standout from camp. To be completely honest, I'm going to go something off of, I haven't read too much about it, but whenever you say something, it's just, he's an absolute beast. He's grown and gotten bigger in Austin Stogner. And we have a wide open position at the tight end, and a tight end is the best friend of a new quarterback learning a scheme. He'll always be there, and he'll make a simple little pass and even up the seam. He's going to be great, and especially in blocking downs. I think he's up to 6'7", and he's added on a lot of extra weight. This guy is going to be another big time tight end going forward for us, and some guy that we haven't really seen of his caliber almost since Jermaine Gresham. Mark Andrews is not like Austin Stogner in the slightest. Calcaterra is not like Austin Stogner. Stogner, you put him on the line, he'll block hard. That's something that Andrews was a wide receiver in high school. Calcaterra was pretty much a wide receiver in high school. Stogner, he gets what he wants, and I think he's going to be really, really fun moving forward.
I'm all in on Stogner. I feel like at one point, I can't even remember how long ago it was, I said that of him and the 3 wide receivers, I thought he would be the one that will make the most impact in the NFL. And obviously still a very spicy take. There's a lot of room left for those wide receivers to grow. And we don't know what will happen with Stogner, but it is such a tight end friendly system. Lincoln Riley just loves himself a good tight end. I can't think of one tight end who hasn't been successful in this system. And now they have a guy in Stogner who can absolutely just be that piece. And I'm really excited to see him develop. I was really impressed with him last year. I thought he stepped up and played, some really good minutes, even though he was very young. Not minutes, snaps. I'm still in basketball mode.
Oh, by the way, basketball tie-in. Katie found these the other day, so now I have Boomer and Schooner bobbleheads.
Oh yeah, I love it.
So, also represent.
Oh my goodness!
That's a very nice PJ Dozier jersey there.
It's becoming retro now. It's becoming retro,
which is weird. Our freshman year is the most common jersey you could find. But
somebody, I'm not gonna mention names. A former, I don't even know what to call it. A former organization that I was affiliated with once wrote an article when Katie left OU, and it talked about OU fraternity members in 2024 wearing Katie Thunder jerseys as throwbacks. And the way things are looking, I'll still be here. So I got it on me.
The circle is now complete.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh man. So Ty, who do you got? Who have you seen? I know you're actually the only one of us on campus. I don't know if you've heard any rumblings. Is there a guy you are really looking forward to seeing on September 12th?
So I'm gonna say not specifically, but there was one word when because I just got out of class right before we started this, and the whole time I was just researching for this podcast. Obviously, it's probably why I'm still in college in 24. But there was one word that stood out to me in one of the articles I read about camp, and that was fluid. And that was a word that Alex Grinch used in reference to the defense. And that was really exciting to me, and it really stuck with me because I think what we saw, so let's throw all the way back to, and I don't want to, have this turn into a bunch of, memes and jokes, but throw back to the Mike Stoops defense and his firing. We saw Ruffin Neal step in, and they didn't have time. They didn't have opportunity to change the system. And then when Alex Grinch became the DC, he, again, really didn't have that much time. And he had to, he didn't have his recruits, and he didn't have a ton of time to change the system and really implement what he wanted. So when you look at Lincoln Riley, he was the OC before he became the head coach. He had time to really implement his offensive system. And it was very revolutionary, but not extremely, because we'd always been really offensively focused. So we have had a pretty basic defense, especially when you read Alex Grinch quotes. So when he starts to refer to the defense as fluid in the offseason, that's really exciting to me because that's a term that he hasn't used that or any sort of synonyms for that in that I can remember. And that shows me that the on-field IQ of the players is increasing, and our plays and our ideas and schemes defensively are increasing in complexity and in effectiveness. I'm sorry, I'm really tongue-tied, but that was I don't have a specific player, but to hear the defense be referred to as fluid is something that really excites me, because that really shows me that Grinch scheme that we've talked about for a while, fingers crossed, waiting on it to finally get implemented, even though as the, DC at Ohio State, they got blown the bleep out by Purdue. But anyways, that's real exciting to see and hear, because I think that, and I really hope I'm not going to get turned into a meme for this, but I think that our defense may be recovering at least to a level that is respectable. I'm not talking about, like the 2000s, like the early 2000s, but at least to where it's not a joke. That is all that we need. If we had a defense that just wasn't an actual living meme with Bake, we would have won the national championship. If we had a defense that wasn't the absolute laughing stock of P5 D1 college football under Lincoln Riley, we could have 2 national championships right now. And it's just, yeah, so that was the most exciting thing to me. Sorry, I went on a big monologue there, but yeah.
No, that's all good. And I agree. That's actually a really good point, because the adaptability and seeing how this defense starts to fit Grinch's mold better is going to be really interesting. We talked about it early on in the offseason before all this BS happened, how important Grinch getting his guys in is to this defense. And when going back to that mass exodus back in like January, where they got a lot of guys like Levi Draper out of the program because they weren't going to play in this system, and really identifying.
R.I.P.
I mean,
he's not dead, but R.I.P.
He's in Arkansas, so basically his football career is dead. So no difference there.
Can we get a someone with a medical expertise to declare a time of death?
I don't know why you're looking at me. I got nothing.
Oh man. Well, we'd have to go back.
I'm basically a medical expert.
Yeah, I guess so. At this point, I don't know.
I know how to put these things on. Why I had this on hand, I don't know. But my thing is mirrored.
People can see it now, so that's good. That's good.
It's going to be really weird for the podcast people.
A little bit.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, you're good. So I think, but what I'm trying to say is, we haven't seen nothing yet with Grinch. Like, he was just cobbling something together last year. This is the first step. This is the first real year. I think we'll start to see substantial change. So all you Gooners out there, just calm the hell down if we have a bad defensive game, because we're not there. We're not even close to there yet.
No, we don't. I mean, we're just now getting the Grinch players that fit his scheme into the system, And these young guys are starting to say, I can get in. I can play these minutes. To be honest, we might not have the star power this year, but like you said, if he's calling it fluid, that means that everyone understands the defense as a whole. And therefore, there's not going to be any kind of lapses in judgment like we've seen the past season. Obviously, you're going to have to. You're going to have some because these are kids playing college football. But it's going to be a whole lot better. And Deshaun White's going to be the head of it. You know, he's going to be a huge point in this offense, especially as the middle linebacker. We're now losing Caleb Kelly and Kenneth Murray from the past year. Everyone says how smart he is. Everyone says he's always in the right spot. Let's make sure he's a leader and keeping on moving forward as a fluid defense. Because our defensive line might be a little shaky with the suspension of Ronnie Perkins, and we don't know who's going to be at the nose tackle. But that middle line of the defense is going to need to be big time, and Deshaun White's got the potential to be there and continue to hold up this fluid defense.
Definitely. Yeah, and I'll stop talking about the fluidity after this. But Jameson, when you were talking, this reminded me of something that you had said. You would always hit on in previous years that issue of our defense at the snap, looking over at the sideline with their arms up, really confused, not knowing what the play was. And like you said, people knowing the defense. And when I hear fluid, that to me sounds like he's able to say something. People intuitively know the defense, know what to do, know their role, know how to find a role as the play develops. And that's really exciting to me.
I don't know about you guys. Every time I hear fluid, I think of the Tom Herman piss chart.
No, I'll be taking over. All right. One thing.
Every time I hear fluid, I think of Tom Herman and lukewarm G2s filled with vodka.
See, this is the problem. This is what happens when you give me just a small amount of audience on the Boom show. I start saying dumb stuff like that. You give me a video, and I'm gonna do a dumb rim shot. Anyways,
one thing before we move on, Bobby. I didn't get to say this, but I was meaning to say it. The biggest thing from fall camp of we don't know what's going to go on. It's going to be really cool to see when Missouri State rolls out is who's going to be starting at left tackle. The last scrimmage, we started true freshman Anton Harrison at the left tackle, overtaking Stacey Wilkins, who people thought that he was going to be in that spot, and also many older guys that could be playing that left tackle spot. True freshmen stepping up and standing next to a whole room of upperclassmen would be honestly crazy. And to think that Bill Bedenbaugh trusts him enough and his offensive line, where he's sat 5-star guys for 2 or 3 years, to put him in as a true freshman at the left tackle. That is something we haven't seen since Creed Humphrey.
That is truly insane to hear. Mm-hmm. And again, especially in that O-line room with that coach, that is something to watch. That is a massive story brewing out of Norman if he can pull that off. Because Wilkins is in no way like OU's like prize guy offense on the O-line, but that would be a massive upset in terms of trying to in terms of him not being a starter. I think we'd all be stunned.
Yeah, and this came out of nowhere. I mean, you'd think that Andrew Rain would be the big time guy that would make a splash in this most recruiting class. Anton Harrison, people forget about him. He was kind of almost an afterthought. He was kind of a second option in recruiting, even though he was extremely high ranked. He's 4-star. Really, really surprising. Even though Swinson has been horrible, you would think that if you could just say there's some kind of just maybe they were just a little bit close there, you give it to a senior. But this is a true freshman coming in, starting the scrimmage. This doesn't mean that he has the number one job. But if you're going out there and you're scrimmage 2.5 weeks before the game and you're playing with the ones, that is extremely telling.
Without a doubt. Now, this wouldn't be an OU football podcast if it didn't include a significant amount of complaining about the schedule. So we picked a good day to come back.
Schedule?
What do you mean? What's wrong with the schedule? So let's start off.
Let's start. Yeah, let's start.
So, the schedule announcements today, in case you missed it. We're recording this September 1st. OU.
Really?
Yeah, it's September now. Ooh. It's crazy.
I think I have something due today.
Well, you didn't hear. You didn't come here to play school
I'm not paying for it, so I don't care.
Thanks for your tax dollars, everyone.
Yeah.
Anyways, so a couple big announcements for OU. So opening game, while it is going to kick off at 6:00 pay-per-view due to the Fox contract. A lot of people are upset, mainly because if you're not a Cox customer, it's going to be 55 big ones. But I know Ty has an interesting take on this.
So time out. Who's upset about this? Because let's look at this. They got rid of tailgating on campus, and it's $60 to watch the game. So I don't understand why you wouldn't just A, own a home in Norman, and B, go to the game.
You just luckily
go to the game. Just it's 25%. Go to the game.
Jameson, I mean, like
if we could cut the video feed here and cut to a photoshopped Paris Hilton image where she's got the "Stop Being Poor" image or the tank top on, and Photoshop that to say, just buy a house and go to the game. If we could do that, that would be cool. But yeah. Open tailgate invitation at my home, and go to the game.
Jameson, what are your thoughts? Just go to the game.
Just be an undergrad until you're 30 so you can get tickets. It's not hard.
Yeah. I mean, and also you can't be poor to get these resale tickets because everyone was kind of dropping out. I'm like, I don't care. I ain't gonna go to the game. I'm gonna flip them because that should be 4 times the price now. If there's 25% of people that are gonna get in the door. I don't know. There's gonna be how many Gooners and old people. Okay, not the Gooners. I think Gooners think they're immune from the coronavirus. But how many old people that are devoted. Yeah. Well, here we go. I'm not going to touch on anything medical on this podcast. But I think
I thought you were moved for a second.
I know. He switched me out, and I was like, "Oh gosh."
Bobby's like, he doesn't think it's a hoax. He's gone.
I was trying to do the solo. I was trying to do the solo layout, and I removed him.
Boo science! Let's get him out.
Again, this has to be very confusing to the podcast listeners.
Yeah, but all in all, yeah. I mean, if you can go to the game and you feel okay in your health and you feel that you are sly enough to get into the doors or play into a big crowd, for it. They wouldn't think people stand if they didn't have good medical behind it, to where they said it could be okay and wouldn't be an absolute catastrophe. I completely understand. But the problem is, what I was saying earlier, is there's so many old OU fans that go to the games. That's the reason that in the second half, it's not just the students that are leaving early. It's the old fans that are going down the elevators from the clubs and suite levels that leave early. That is a large portion of our fan base. So a lot of the really diehard Gooners, majority of them probably don't even go to the game. They probably just sit at home and they get on Twitter the whole time. But I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see what everything's like moving forward. But with the 6:00 in the pay-per-view, can you clarify this, Bobby? Because I know there might be people listening that are confused. Well, so Cox customers get it for free, or is it the Cox customers have the ability to buy it, and everybody else needs to find a Cox plug?
I think if you have a certain channel with them and it's only local, you will have it. So, for example, because I had them in North Carolina, I'm pretty sure I had them in North Carolina.
Don't look at me, man. I
don't know what your
cable package was.
I had them in Virginia, and I could not get the games for free because I didn't have like Sports Oklahoma or something like that. So I think it's tied to a specific local sports channel or something. I might be incorrect about this one. That's what it was in previous years, like the Army game, for example.
Okay, so from what I understand, if you order it on Cox, it's $34.99. If you order it online, it's $54.99.
So it's
Okay.
just
Okay.
cheaper. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It also will not be available on DirecTV or Sling, so that's great.
Alrighty.
And then
Okay,
and then the other two announcements: OU Texas at 11 a.m. as is tradition.
So
Missed opportunity there.
I'm gonna sort of loop back. I have some closing statements on the first game. Like Jameson said, all joking aside, take your health in your own hands. If you have some sort of underlying condition, it's not going to be worth it to try to go to a game. I have been hearing rumors, unrealized so far because I haven't heard any info, but about if you do have a ticket, they're going to stagger sort of arrival times, and you're going to have a time to go through security. And the stadium will be distanced, obviously, but take things serious. Take your health in your own hands, and be responsible for that. But also, again, all joking aside, for the pay-per-view, again, take your health in your own hands. But your local Buffalo Wild Wings or any sort of sports bar should pay for that, and will most likely have that game for free. And again, take your health in your own hands and be responsible, and don't make assumptions for what other people are comfortable with. But go into a B-Dubs or an O-Cons, or not an O-Cons. But going to somewhere that has the game on TV, whether it be your local OU club, if you're out of state or something like that, that can be a great place to make friends and things like that as well. So that's always an option. There's tons of options other than paying $60 to watch OU cover the spread. Pick of the week right there, against Missouri State. So. Yeah, definitely look into that. Pretty much everywhere should be paying for it. I'm sure there's tons of spots in Oklahoma City that are paying for it. So save your money if you can. It's not going to be like UFC where you can catch the entire 30-second fight on Twitter, but there'll be some good stuff, even if it's a dude that's got to pee on Twitch. I don't know if anyone remembers that from the Army game, but I do because I was there on Twitch. But yeah.
Legendary moment.
All joking aside, take care of yourself because you're the only person that's going to take care of you. And don't pay $60 for something you can pirate on Reddit. All right, here we go.
Okay, there you go. We Schooner Pod is pro B-Dubs.
Pro video piracy.
Sponsor us. Please sponsor us, Buffalo Wild Wings. Please sponsor us, whatever pirate site. Just kidding. Don't do that. Oh man!
Insert Bobby ad right now.
Can we get an ad from our CFB streams?
I don't know. Let me see if I can work on that. I don't know. I'll talk to their people. So, oh, there it is. Oh! Podcast listeners are very confused. That's why you should watch us. You should watch this stream on YouTube, Twitter, wherever you get your video podcast things. I don't know. It's a new world, people. But you know what never changes? You know what will stand the test of time forever?
You can bleep that. It's fucking Anchor, isn't it? God damn it.
It's not Anchor. It is Jameson's Cruitin Corner. Jameson.
Hey, time out, Jameson, before you start. You know good and well he's going to throw an Anchor ad in there. So don't let it sound like I wasn't right. But yeah, I'm excited for Cruitin Corner.
You've given me inspiration, Ty. I think I might just do it. So everyone, Cruitin Corner right after this Anchor ad. All right, cool. We're on. Jameson, I want to hear the Cruitin Corner. Here it is for you, buddy. So the stage is yours. That's me.
Yeah, thank you, Bobby, for that wonderful. Thank you for that wonderful Anchor ad. That was extremely enlightening. I really enjoyed listening to. Oh wow! Oh, this is wonderful. For the fifth time today,
recording from Anchor. Wink, wink.
I feel like I should be doing the NBA person where it's like, oh, look at me.
I need to find a way to add music to this because we need like some sort of techno beat going on. You know, I don't know.
Okay.
Definitely.
So the big thing that we're talking about this week, obviously that everyone wants to talk about, is the most recent Schooner Summit. If y'all don't know what that was, Caleb Williams and his father took it upon themselves to organize a whole recruiting week during dead weekends where no players could talk to any coaches or staff, and brought really high ends to recruits to Norman from the East Coast and from Texas to all come in and have a player-led, pretty much unofficial visit. So guys that came, Caleb Williams, 5-star, number 3 player in the nation, OU commit, quarterback. He brought Tristan Lee with him, which is a big-time offensive tackle from Virginia that it's a race between us and LSU for, and we made huge strides with him this that Sooner Summit week. We also offered his little brother as a 2023 recruit there. I don't know how good the little brother is, but I mean, would y'all take a little brother, even if he's just going to be trash and he's going to get a scholarship for 4 years, if you know that you're getting a 3-year starter, 2-year starter at left tackle?
If I were the head coach, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You can always bury them. You can always, one scholarship is a lot. I mean, you're in doing that. You have to think of it. Don't think of it just of football. Like in doing that, taking a dude that's going to be a star and then also guaranteeing a scholarship for his little brother, you're also providing an education to like someone on the rowing team or something like that. Shout out to U.S. laws, but you're being given an opportunity to provide someone a secondary education for free. Two people, actually, legally speak, three people, two on the rowing team and one younger brother. So I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I think if
Baker Mayfield was a walk-on, Drake Stoops, who confuses boomers because they think we're booing, also technically a walk-on, preferred walk-on, but yeah, I don't think it's, I'm a fan of free college for people.
Yeah, free college is fine.
Yeah, totally. So Aiden Lee, gets the offer, and if Tristan decides not to come to us, we can completely retract the offer. When comes time. That's just how it's going to be. And whenever you're a 23 kid who's definitely not even like matured enough, and you've got offers from like Ohio State and LSU and Florida and all these really good teams, just because you're big brother, he's going to want to go out and earn it. But aside from the fact, we're now in a 2-horse race. We're probably still a little bit behind LSU, but they were talking about what happens if you put him on that left tackle and you have the best quarterback in the recruiting class right there. And Caleb Williams is a hell of a leader. So we definitely got into a conversation we thought we'd never, ever be in whenever we did not have Caleb Williams in the boat. Other huge name that was there. It was only there for a day, but it's Kamar Wheaton. Everyone was been clamoring to get him, especially we're talking about today. Our running back room is really thin, and Kamar Wheaton being a 5-star running back, the best running back in this class out of Garland, Texas. And we thought coming into the weekend, it was a 2-horse race between Texas and OU. Texas almost was pretty much taking the lead on us. There was a time he posted a Twitter picture of him putting the horns up on something. And then he goes out, he says he's going to release a top 2, and then he releases a top 3, which was extremely, extremely a little bit fishy, of OU, Alabama, and not Texas, but LSU. So LSU sneaks in and pushes their way into a top 3 that was supposed to be a top 2. Bagman, what do you think about that, Bobby? Is that Bagman?
That sounds like Bagman to me. I don't know, but look, we've seen this happen before with LSU. You and I have talked privately about the old Jacob Phillips issue. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm getting Bagman vibes.
So you gotta look at the first off, the SEC is by far the dirtiest conference when it comes to that. And I'm the name of the series is escaping me now, but the SB Nation report on Ole Miss and Larry Tunsil and the Bagman there. World-class reporting. Even if you aren't a fan of college football, which if you're, listening to Schooner Pod, you are, that is just entertaining world-class reporting. Regardless, I guess we'll throw up a link maybe on the Instagram story or something. later after this to their series. But, SEC is worse with bagmen. Going back to my initial idea and thought response, I don't know if you can say LSU specifically it's a bagman issue because they are the defending national champions. And, Coach O, you got to give him credit. Like, what he has done, in developing a guy that I'm not going to go off on the tangent about how Joe Burrow likes to claim no one believed in him, even though he was a 5-star recruit and went
He
to
was
a
not
top
a 5-star recruit, dude. He was like a 3-star recruit. He was a nothing.
He was a 3-star recruit. He went to Ohio State with Urban Meyer. He pitches this, nobody ever believed in me. Like, come on, dude.
Just like nobody offered Josh Jacobs.
You got to give Coach O some credit, and the national championship means a lot when it comes to recruiting. So I don't know if you can, just throw out Dirty Rush right away for LSU. If he went to like Tennessee or like Ole Miss or some like SEC school that absolutely sucks, then I would throw out the bagman. But LSU, absolutely 100%, definitely doing illegal stuff. Paying players.
Well, yeah. What happened? They probably saw he was releasing his top 2, and LSU came running. They're like, "Oh gosh, if we're not going to be in this top 2, what can we do to get in there? Like, what do we got to say?" And they did some convincing, and that's the reason he posted it late, because obviously something came in and delayed him. He said he was going to post it one day, and he didn't post it until like 12:30 in the morning the next day. There's obviously something that happened there, whether that be some convincing or whether that be some other kinds of convincing. There's something there. But even though this guy didn't have the biggest name, even though he's a very big name, the biggest star power, people that are really excited about him, that came from the Sooner Summit, Savion Byrd, who is a guy from Duncanville, Texas, used former 5-star, now he's a high-end 4-star. In the recruiting ranks, offensive tackle. He came out of nowhere for OU. Whenever you're from Duncanville, you're pretty much presumed to go to Texas because one of the guys on their coaching staff had big-time Texas connections. But now he's off and got a job at SMU. Savion Byrd now was going to lean towards SMU. We have been creeping up with him, and there's a set of eyeballs that came out on Sooner Summit weekend, and I don't have any information who it is, but I'm feeling like it could be him. Savion Byrd, very, very good offensive tackle, and getting a guy out of Duncanville in Texas territory would be huge moving forward because there are some really great Duncanville players coming in 2022 and in 2023 in the future. And then if we can get our stamp there, that's going to be big. And plus, it's another great offensive lineman for Bill Bedenbaugh. And another guy where Colin Montgomery is the guy who's in our boat right now at offensive line. He was also at the Sooner Summit. So if you had 2 OU commits at the Sooner Summit and with another guy, Tristan Lee, that we really, really want, is the number one priority for all of our offensive linemen, that's only going to help you. Because, they're all talking about how can we work together. Savion, you're on the right. Tristan is on the left. Colin, you can come play at left guard. This is going to be scary, and especially whenever you have Kamar Wheaton in the backfield, Caleb Williams, you almost have your full front right there, just right in front of you. And they went out and played a little catch, and they ran some plays. And are you kidding me? These are seniors in high school. They're going to get stars in their eyes just thinking about this dream combination. Kids on a visit that come during the year, like unofficials and officials, don't go out and play catch with each other and run little plays on some random field somewhere. They have organized team activities that OU or whoever puts on for them. This is extremely unique, and this is similar to that on a very, very small scale because it only happened on one day, but like how AAU basketball players play together. You see a lot of kids that go to play on the same AAU basketball team, and they go to the same college. So yeah, it's definitely big, huge weekend, went extremely well. Everyone gave it raving reviews. We had other 2022 guys there, and Gentry Williams, who's a 5-star athlete out of Tulsa that is extremely leaning towards us, would be a great get. And if we could put him in the secondary, would be a great Grinch guy. But all in all, the Sooner Summit was great. And it's something that if we can get visitors on campus, if we can get recruits on campus moving forward, and we can get Tristan Lee back and actually have him catered to one of the best catering universities in OU, we could really do some damage and move up in the room, maybe even overtake LSU. Last thing before I move on, Emeka Egbuka, the best wide receiver in the country, 5-star out of Washington. He was planning to come out, didn't make it in. It's hard to get a plane, from Washington to Oklahoma on your own dime because it's unofficial. And if we could get him in person moving forward, that could be another scary combination. It's the Caleb Williams effect we talked about in the past. This dude is a hell of a recruiter. He's a hell of a leader, and everyone's gravitating towards him. And even if we miss out on a couple guys, we're going to get some special guys that we never thought we'd get.
Definitely. And I got to say, I also love the amount of salt coming from Texas and Texas A&M fans on Twitter about the summit.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, to close out Cruitin Corner, well, not to close it out because I'm not the authority on Cruitin Corner, obviously. First up, is Texas A&M still a D1 school?
Honestly, like they act like their little brother. They get that chip on their shoulder all the time. I'm serious, so that's just downright.
I'm not gonna lie. I do for no reason whatsoever because they blew out OU. I'm a Johnny Manziel fan. You gotta love the respect that he has towards partying to where he's gonna throw away a particularly world-class career just to go to the club for like 4 weeks. My closing comment on Cruitin Corner, Jameson and Bobby. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. I sent this to both of you guys earlier today. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on Oklahoma State's move to partner, before any announcement or anything solid has come out with the company Influencer, spelled weird because obviously, to promote their players' brands as individuals. So I'm going to read Mike Gundy's official statement from Old Row OSU's story because I'm terrible at finding actual solid sources. But
it's newsworthy.
This is a quote from Mike Gundy. I'm excited to announce an exclusive partnership with Influencer, spelled INFLCR, an industry leader in name, image, and likeness. This partnership allows our student athletes to tell their stories, grow their audiences, and build their brands. So my question, I guess, to Jameson and Bobby, if you guys want to pitch in on this, what impact do you guys think that has, and how soon, because it's inevitable, how soon do you think until OU and everyone else jumps on the train of partnering with sort of firms like that to promote individual players and their ability to promote their likeness and their personal brand? And obviously this can go on a whole, we could do a whole podcast on this, but I just want to hear you guys' takes real quick on how much you think that specific move just by OSU is going to impact recruiting in the next year or so, let's say.
Well, I think what's going to end up happening, and it'll be hilarious, is because OSU is the first one to do this, they're inevitably going to get randomly busted by the NCAA for something. And it's going to be hilarious. They're going to get the death penalty or something just because they're trying to be innovative. The NCAA has been so unfair to Oklahoma State in basketball. Who says they won't bring the hammer down on them already for something they haven't even done wrong yet?
Time out. I'm going to be quiet for the rest of you guys' takes, but 2 takes here. 1, Bobby, did you just simp for OSU basketball there? And 2, are you going to be excommunicated from the name that shall not be mentioned clan and their line of secession if you speak ill from or ill against OSU?
Dude, I'm like the Greg the Egg of that. So, like, no, that's not really an issue.
You're much more Roman, but without the drug addiction. But
anyways, Yeah, you know what? Maybe, I don't know. Me and Jameson have done our fair share of being excommunicated from that, but I've earned my good graces. I'm just being honest. I'm not even like talking shit on OSU. They shouldn't get punished. I'm just saying they will, because the NCAA is a cruel machine.
Just to clarify, are they actually the first that has done something like that? Because I feel like they're not. I feel like they're just the first that I've heard about, because I follow Old Row OSU.
As far as I know, they're the first that I know about. Jameson might have more insight on that, though.
They're the first I've heard that it was somebody, but there are definitely other schools that have hinted on, like, come here and make your brand whenever it does come to be. I definitely have heard that. I think from like Ohio State is kind of what's hitting in my mind. I'm not 100% on that, but I've definitely heard about brand. But no one partnering with anyone. And I'm going to be honest, Mike Gundy, if that's his idea, which it really made it sound like from the article that we read, it made it sound like it's his idea. Anything that's his idea might be bad. So I'm with Bobby on this one. This could go bad. I mean, it seems like it's still a little too early. I mean, if they're getting ahead on it, like, who knows if this influencer is any good? And I'm going to be completely honest. Whenever you first sent that, I spent so long trying to figure out what the letters acronym meant for INFLCR, and I had no idea that it was just influencer spell. I was like, what is I? Influence?
You're too accustomed to the world of
medical science,
defined terms. Yeah, you got to get tied in with the VC world and the Silicon Valley and stuff. I decided I didn't want to do that. But it means influencer. People in the VC world decide that spelling things weird makes them more appealing. So
they just walk in the room. Mike, I'm sorry, I got to tell you the news. You have an FLCR.
Jameson's like, I have no idea what your name means, and for that reason, I'm out.
Honestly, whoever came up with this plan, because it wasn't Mike Gundy, when they told him they got that, he's like, well, what kind of virus did we get now?
Okay, time out. What are the odds, just because we're rolling back into betting again, what are the odds that Mike Gundy still has an AOL email address for his personal?
He definitely has a either AOL or Hotmail.
Bro, I still ride with the Hotmail. I ain't lying. I've had that one for a long time, and I'm just sticking with it. It's where all my junk goes to, and everything that I don't care about, I push it towards. I've got other ones that I.
What site do you even log into for Hotmail?
Microsoft. I don't know. I just type in hotmail.com. It redirects me to something because it's
Follow me at Jameson at hotmail.com. Follow me on my MySpace at.
By the way, if you have any complaints about the show, send them to jpmball at hotmail.com. Send them, just flood the inbox.
pretty damn.
It'll be there right next to the restaurant story notifications that your stuff is ready.
That my lobster biscuit is spoiled.
It is 4:30. Where is your lobster bisque? Oh man, Jameson, is there anything more on Cruitin Corner you want to do? I know I changed the overlay, but anything you want to say before you?
No. Just today started. The dead period's off. You know, we can talk to 2022 recruits now, so you'll start to see a lot of edits on Twitter and everything, and offers get sent out and that stuff. But other than that, the Sooner Summit was a big deal. Went really well. We'll just have to see if we can finish the deal, come closer to unofficial signing day in December.
Thoughts on the hashtag ChampU 2022, which was just released today. You got to win a championship first. You can't put the playoff.
Yeah.
You can't put
2022. You can't. I guess that's only one season away, technically.
No, they're saying that's their recruiting. Like, it's link up 2020, like 21, and theirs is ChampU 22, and it's based off Big 12 championship. So I just think it's just kind of lame. Not my deal.
The logo has the playoff trophy in it. So I'm like, look, I get we win a lot of Big 12 championships, and I really do truly think we're on the precipice of winning a national title. I really think this is the closest we've been. I don't know, man. It's been a long night. The preface of winning
No, I
one.
know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I think we really are going to win one, but you can't do that. Like, I think that's just a little too tacky. I get that it's not like, oh, we win championships. It's more of like, this is the goal. This is the class that will be the one to probably fulfill it. I don't know. I just find it a little A&M-ish.
I completely agree.
At this point, the Big 12 championship is like, I don't know if you guys had this at Heritage. It's a joke of a school. But like kindergarten, shout out to my Cyclones, woo! Like kindergarten graduations. Like it's a given. Like you're going to graduate. Like OU is going to win the Big 12 championship. So calling, us like championship U for winning the Big 12 championship, like who else is going to do it? Literally no one.
Might as well be us, I guess. I don't know. So before we go, there's actually one college football game on this weekend. And there are a couple of them, but there's only one. Only one college football game between two legitimately D1 schools. And it is BYU and it is Navy.
I don't know about the legitimately D1 schools part if we're talking athletics, but
look at D1. Anyways, so we're going to start this off. We actually have a game to pick. It's pick'em time. So we're going to start this off. All of us gets the chance to go 1-0. So BYU at Navy, Monday, Labor Day. BYU's favored by 1.5, which is a really weird line. Makes me think they're playing soccer or something. I'll just let Jameson go first here. So Jameson, who do you got between the Mormons and the Midshipmen?
Okay, so pretty much this comes down to Malcolm Perry's gone for Navy. And I understand they've done really well at bringing in big-name quarterbacks to make a name at Navy, which is extremely impressive. But Malcolm Perry, dude, he blew up that whole offense. The amount of plays he made last year, his quickness, it completely changed the whole game. And now that he's gone, it's going to be a huge hole on that offense. And I really liked what I saw from freshman last year, Zach Wilson, at quarterback for BYU. I think he's got an edge to him in the games that I watched, and he's got a little fire under him and the confidence that you need to be a young quarterback in Division I football. And I was going to take BYU even if it was -5. So I'm going to take BYU -1.5 here, and I feel pretty good about it. But you never know with Navy. You never know. But BYU, I like Zach Wilson. Malcolm Perry gone. Give me him.
Ty, great pick. Ty, I know you're a big Navy guy in terms of a supporter of the team. Do you think the Midshipmen are going to pull it off against BYU? Give me your take.
Like Jameson said, Malcolm Perry, pretty sure he's been there for like years now. Dude has spent his entire military career playing quarterback for Navy. And then he got picked up by the Dolphins. I'm not sure if he deferred his commitment or not. I'm not sure. There was a lot of stuff with whether or not that was going to be a thing. No clue there. Google is your friend. Figure it out.
He got released of his duty.
Okay, so that did get, I think, yeah, and I don't want to get into politics on this, but the former Secretary of Defense wanted to get rid of that. And whatever. Anyways, so yeah, Malcolm Perry isn't there, but you have to remember, Jameson mentioned that Malcolm Perry was a critical part of that offense as the quarterback, but you have to remember that all they did was run the option, or the triple option. So it's not like you didn't actually need a quarterback. You just needed someone to run. So when I look at, I guess because we're picking the lines, right? So BYU,
it's a 1.5 though, so like that really doesn't.
Yeah. So yeah, really, it's. There was a technicality as to how you can score a single point. We're not going to get into that because I don't recall at this time. And I'm not sure if it's even a thing in college. So, drum roll, Navy versus BYU, final takes. No one can go to this game because the state of Maryland has declared that no one's allowed to go, including students. So it's at Annapolis. It's at the Naval Academy. Traditionally, the entire student body goes to every single home game. 100% because they're required to. But no one will be in attendance at this game besides camera crews, I'm assuming. So, to pull the Lee Corso, I'm gonna have to go with Navy.
I love it.
Outright. Shout out to all my friends who are alumni and currently there. But yeah, Navy's gonna straight up win this one, probably by 10 points. Yeah, so put money on Navy winning, minus 10 for sure. Absolutely, it's in Annapolis, so like BYU to Annapolis, that's a long way. I'm not gonna do the math. It's over 100 miles guaranteed. You guys, they're not going to be permitted to bring their multiple wives. Guys have been working out all summer, already used to having no life. They're not going to mind if no one's there because it's BYU versus Navy. No one was going to show up anyways. So yeah, Navy minus 10. Absolute lock of the century for sure.
I'm going to keep this short because honestly, there's no way I can top that one.
Also, I went on for like 10 minutes. So.
No, I mean, it was a great presentation. I love it. I don't know if you can go against, the Navy on a national holiday. That feels weird, even though it's Labor Day. Oh man, I'm all in on Navy. I think this is a weird college football season. Give me the Midshipmen and their unusual offense to take the day, get this win. Yeah, no, I'm completely sold by that speech. It was very, inspiring. The headgear, I can't argue with it. I can't. I mean, what am I supposed to do? You stole the show here. I love it. So,
I get the sense that you were going to pick BYU before that.
I was actually probably leaning Navy, but I don't know. To be fair, I've been so entrapped in basketball that I've kind of need to get rejogged back to the fact that college football is going to happen. I agree, double ponies, whatever. And my mind is very malleable right now. So Jameson made a really good pitch for BYU. Then Ty blew the pitch out of the water for Navy. And yeah, no, I'm all in on the Midshipman here. So go Navy, beat Army. Well, in this case, BYU.
Playing BYU, but yeah.
Well, that's what they say. That's what they say.
An army of Mormons would be so fun.
The army.
There still is, because it's never out of question. There still is potential that the season will not happen after this, and this could be the national championship. Keep that in mind.
Well, we would need a college football playoff between Austin P or just a championship between Austin P and the winner of this.
D1 FBS.
Okay, yeah, so this could be the FBS national title then.
But Ole Miss and Mississippi State would probably still play.
Egg Bowl.
Yeah.
Secret Egg Bowl
national championship for the win.
Secret Egg Bowl is what we all need. So I don't even want a real Egg Bowl. I want the secret Egg Bowl. Oh man. Well, this has been fun, guys. It's good to catch up. I'm looking forward to doing our more in-depth, OU football preview. This is kind of just a wrap-up of the summer. But any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up and head on into, believe it or not, the regular season? Jameson?
Nope, I ain't got nothing. I'm ready to see it, and I'm ready to get a new round of picks in the next time we meet up.
Definitely. Ty?
Yeah, so my only closing thought, I know that a lot of people are going through a lot of stuff right now, but when we look at college football, I have to look at the fact that again, it wasn't. I don't think it was D1 FBS, but it was legit college football. The first play of the 2020 season, if we're excluding the kickoff, was a touchdown. I don't know if you guys saw that game last weekend, but very first play, Austin P versus who I don't even know who won. Honestly, I stopped watching. But the very first play of the season was a touchdown. And if that's not a good omen, I don't know what is. Keep your heads up, guys. We're going to have some fun this season. Definitely.
Well, this has been fun. We have a lot of really, I always say a lot of like hyperbolic, super exciting, optimistic stuff. We really do have a lot of really great stuff coming your way. mainly because we'll be focused and, for one, I won't be at the games distracted and halfway drunk. So, I mean, I'll be halfway drunk, but I'll be at a computer this time.
But the post-game, like, pay-per-view podcast from Bobby, those were like goats, you know? Like, pay Bobby like a quarter and he'll send you a 15 drunk pod.
Look, we've come a long way from the corner drunk pods. Shout out to Ty and shout out to Katie Hall for paying those. Those were the two people we had do it.
Did I pay? I don't think I paid.
No,
I don't think you
friend
paid.
Ty.
No, it's Ty Milligan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ty.
Shout out to Ty.
But look, for real, we got some really cool stuff coming your way. And I'm excited to do it with y'all three. This is going to be a really fun season. So it's going to be different. But, honestly, it's college football. It's in the fall. And that was really weird to say. But it's happening, and I'm excited. So let's get to going. Year 3 of the Schooner pod itself. Year 4 for this little shindig. So I don't know. I think it'll be our biggest one yet. So let's get everything going. It'll be fun. Anyways, if you like this, please subscribe everywhere you get your podcasts. Check us out on Twitter. And if you like the Thunder, Boomtown Hoops, hit it up on Twitter. We have great post-game shows. If you're listening to this on the day it released, hopefully we'll have at least one more. So anyways, that's all I got to say.
You're rambling.
It's tradition. It's tradition. At least it's not live and in person like half of the Boomtown ones. So anyways, for me, Ty, and Jameson, this has been the Schooner Pod. We look forward to seeing you next time when we go deep into OU's roster, take a nice look at OU's short but hopefully sweet football season. And then after that, hey, maybe we might bully Bowden Blake into coming on and doing a little Big 12 preview. So anyways, till next time, this has been the Schooner Pod. We'll see you later. Boomer Sooner.